passion for what I do. And essentially that's, sort of summing it up, that's what I want to talk about. The prints Jim has done are pretty close to my prints. I also use a Canon printer, and I sort of believe that it's not a photograph until it's printed. That's sort of my belief. I like the prints big, and I like the prints with lots of detail. I want the clients to be able to put their nose up to the prints. My images have been sold in 10 fine art galleries across North America, and there's a group of galleries in Europe that sell my prints. And I also sell to, I have a network of designers and consultants that also sell my work. And for me, the Phase 1 gear, what allows me to do is to get files that have lots of detail and size. So I can print, you can see how big some of these prints are. I just had an installation of the image up front of 28 feet across, and you can zoom in on the iPhone picture and you can see the veins and the leaves at 28 feet across. Just stunning. I'll talk a little bit about that in my presentation. But that's essentially, the main reason that I've found is I can differentiate my work from people shooting Nikon or Fuji or other types of cameras. Is because I can be different. And it's good to be different. And I think my imagery is different. Okay. So just a little introduction. I got started in photography about 30 years ago. I lived in Ottawa. I worked as an economist. I was actually an econometrician, if that means anything to anyone. I did economic consulting, and I would do forecasting and analysis. And I dealt with a lot of data. So when I would get data, I would do housing forecasting as an example. And I'd get all this data, and I would have to tell a story. Right? I'd have to tell what's going on with the housing market in Canada, as an example. And I sort of think my photography is the same. I wander into a forest, and there's a whole bunch of data coming at me. Right? It's busy, it's chaotic. And I try to tell a story. So I try to find that one spot, that one angle, that one height of the tripod, because every shot is with a tripod, where I can get some symmetry, some design, some pattern out of that forest. Okay? And the way I got started is I was hiking in the fall, and I found a camera on a viewpoint. It was an old Minolta X7A. I called the warden up to the park, and I said, I found this camera. He says, well, season's over. I have your name and number, and I'll call you if anyone wants it. No one claimed it. So I had this camera, and it was just sitting on my shelf, and I met my wife, and we started to go on these hiking trips. First trip was to the Southwest. And, we would hike, and I would go to Walmart and buy my film, and have Walmart develop my film as we traveled along, and it was mostly about the hiking. I would hike, and I'd hike, and I could go 20 miles at a time. You can see me limping. I got no hip left after hiking all these years. But I would go to a park, and I would hike I would want to do every trail. I wasn't happy until all the trails were done. And the camera was sort of tagged along. It was almost documentary. But I got back, and I started looking at the images, and I started to do some prints. I got one of the first, Epson's first printer. I don't know how many years ago. I used to know the exact number. It was before the Photo EX, so